Our keynote speaker comes from the Silicon Valley offices of Microsoft. And I'd like to introduce you to Carol Scott, who's going to give our opening keynote and share some new insights that have just come about recently. Thank you, Carol.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me today. I've been thrilled to be here, and it's also been very exciting to be at Microsoft and also in Silicon Valley as we're getting started. So let me introduce myself, and then I'll be happy to share my slides. So my name is Carol Scott, and I do live here in Silicon Valley and work for Microsoft. I'm a senior director in the software and development platforms business. We manage digital natives, Microsoft's largest partners and platforms. So it's an exciting time as our group is leading Microsoft with AI adoption for sure. And shout out to some of my team members and peers who have joined. I really appreciate you supporting me. And here we go. So today I'm going to talk about how to thrive in the AI era, level up and own your future. So I'm going to weave in my own AI journey. I get asked all the time, how do you know all this stuff? How do you know, what's going on in AI, how to talk about it, how to speak about it, because, definitely here at Microsoft, we are in the middle of it all, but I've also taken initiative myself to level myself up because I've seen what has been, really key to driving my own career and success, in addition to working at Microsoft. So I want to represent you as someone who is learning all the time, and then also share more about what's going on at Microsoft and in general. I do want to comment, if you look at this graphic, people that know me know I send AI images and graphics all the time, and I've really enjoyed that. So one of the things, so I'll just kick off and say, I've really tried to build like a brand and kind of some images that I use consistently. So if you looked at my LinkedIn profile, this is an image I created. I'm a executive at Microsoft. I'm a working mom. I work in AI. I work in Silicon Valley. I'm creative. I'm technical. And so this image is one that I just really love, that I spent time, using AI, and it's amazing. I would have never thought that I could. When I say I'm creative, I am not artistic. My daughters are, I am not. So the ability to be artistic and build my own brand with my own words has just been amazing. So here's the agenda. I'm going to quickly go through. And again, I know I have 45 minutes, but it's going to go fast. And so I want to talk about, do an industry update. Where are we today? The last year has gone very quickly. And then also I'm talking about a day in the life of a power user. So I would consider myself a power user. And then I'm going to share some scenarios as well. So I do have public-facing slides from Microsoft I will share. I do also recognize that not everybody has CoPilot, not everybody uses Microsoft. It's definitely my perspective and my experience. I have tried a lot of different tools, but I've also tried to make sure that things are relevant to what you have today. And then there will be definitely some specifics about what's going on here at Microsoft. A lot of people want to know, what is CoPilot? What is it? Is it a product? Is it a thing? Is it a capability? So I'm going to demystify that for you. The other thing too is I'm going to start on the business side. I'm going to go a little bit deep on the technical side, but I truly believe, even though I have a technical and business background, that anyone can learn this and speak to it. And so that's my goal today. We'll briefly talk about security and privacy, what's coming. And then in the slides, I do have 3 pages of prompting resources that I'm sharing for you to use. If you have CoPilot, you can use them there, but a lot of them you can use with whatever you have. So I love AI images, as people know. And I love pink. And I love the song, Hey, 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 What's Going On? And I feel like every day when I open up LinkedIn, I'm like, what is going on? And I'm also a big Formula One fan. So what's going on with Lewis going to Ferrari? What's going to happen to Carlos Sainz and Perez and all of these players? And so again, what I love about AI images is you never know what you're going to get, but I have had so much fun and integrating art and color and images and creativity into my storytelling in my career and in my personal life. So I'm just going to do a quick run through on these different topics before we kind of dig into more of the details. So as we all know, there's a lot of products that have come out over the last year. I think I saw on LinkedIn, there was this chart that said, oh, here's 200 AI products across all these different categories. And I'm like, that is quite the eye chart. I'm sure there are use cases for those. But my suggestion is pick one or two to get started if you haven't started already. You know, we definitely saw OpenAI and Microsoft lead on ChatGPT, but it definitely is, it feels, you know, like a race to offer this capability. And even though I do work for Microsoft, I do think competition is good. I think having multiple models are good. I think there's different ways to hold each other accountable as well. But there are so many foundational models and there's different AI products built on those models. And so what we've really seen is, you know, a lot of innovation around bringing a lot of these products and models to the table. So I would not worry too much about which one is the best one. Just go and try one. A lot of them are free to try. You know, Bing Chat has become CoPilot. You know, that's a way to get free access to ChatGPT-4. And then there's other, you know, products out there that, you know, you can get a free trial. You can try them out. I have been trying some of the image creators and some of the video creators. So whenever there's something new, I try it. I probably have, I don't know, 5 or 6, I almost said prescriptions. So I did say prescriptions. Prescriptions that I have, subscriptions. Okay, you have to have a sense of humor here. Lots of words here. Subscriptions to several different tools. And so again, even though I have access to CoPilot, I like to try everything. Also, GPUs. And so you have to have processing power. And I have often said sometimes it's easier to win the lottery than to get access to a lot of GPUs. But, you know, GPUs are what powers AI. And so, you know, you have NVIDIA, you know, leading the market, but then you also have Microsoft and Amazon and other players. You know, there is a big demand for, you know, basically being able to have the processing capacity. So that's also something to watch. A lot of AI devices. So it's been kind of fun here at the office. We've had people come in with the new Apple headsets and, you know, Humane has a new AI pen. They're one of our customers. We got to meet that founder here at Microsoft. So there are a lot of devices out there. I'm normally an early adopter of things. I think I'm going to wait on the $3,500 for the, you know, Apple headset. But, you know, we do have a lot of AI devices and there's just so much innovation. Also, AI in industry, and I'll also talk about industry disruption. You know, we're seeing, you know, we've had machine learning and AI for a while, but really we're seeing AI on the front end in banking and in healthcare and, you know, across all different industries, and no one is spared. So that's why no matter what industry you're in, I can guarantee there's something going on there. And I'm pretty excited. I have always felt that if we got the right level of compute and, you know, capabilities, that we could even, you know, look at really starting to look at cures and making advancements on cancer and climate and things like that. And then also we're seeing a lot of regulations. It's kind of interesting, kind of left to right. So I've, you know, been reading about how Japan is being a little more open. You know, the US has policies, but we normally don't enforce them. And then we have European Union, who's really focused on, you know, what is it that we expect? They're normally tighter regulations. I do think for companies that are global, this is a challenge, right? And that's why it's great to have partners that are global, that are looking in this space, because, you know, you might be deploying a global solution and how you configure it, in different regions is definitely going to make a difference. And then finally, employment concerns. So I know AI is going to be disrupting the industry. We're not going to pretend like there's not going to be any negative impacts, but I do think there are a lot of very positive impacts. And those that embrace AI now, today, if you're not using it, I'm assuming, you're interested in it or using it if you're here, but encourage those around you to use it. If any companies are not even talking about it or considering it, you're already behind. But, on owning your future and thriving, you have to keep up. You have to use it. Use what's available if you don't have access to through your work. But I would also start, working on your network around you as well. And as we know, AI is shifting everywhere, every individual, every function, every industry. And so, everything from collaborations and efficiencies and creativity, from selling to customer service, personalization. It's just been amazing. And I think one of the things that really has caught my attention and where I think we need to all pay attention is the pace of innovation is faster than ever before. But what you can also do as an individual user is more than ever before. And so I like to say it's not just like accelerating, it's literally we're leaping. It's almost like traveling through time. You're thinking, wow, this is going so fast. And so how do I keep up? I do think it's important, though, that you just really focus on the basics and focus on your skills and your thinking and your mindset and seeing what you can do. And the more you move the muscle, the faster along you can move for sure. And then also, employees are ready to embrace AI. Yes, I know there's concerns out there, but what we've seen through our Work Trends Index at Microsoft, and we've done a lot of research, and a lot of our partners have, like BCG and others, are, today we're all working a lot, right? That whole mantra of do more with less. Well, thank goodness for AI, because we're seeing those efficiencies that just let us have more balance in what we're doing. And then also, employees need AI aptitude. And I'm not going to drain this slide completely, but I just want to say that those that lead, you want to thrive and be strong in your career, having these skill sets. And it's not just having AI skills. AI really empowers your critical thinking and curiosity and your emotional intelligence. And I've seen for myself of really challenging my thinking in a way and how I work and really wrestling. And, it's exciting, but, we have to think differently. And there's definitely a mental model shift here. So like I said, I love images. And so I just want to talk briefly about a day in the life and being curious. This is one of the first images I created, and I use it a lot. So those that know me know that I helped my husband start an air charter business several years ago. And he also has an aircraft maintenance business, and we've flown around quite a bit, and he's a pilot, and I've sat in the co-pilot seat. So I was thrilled for this analogy. When people talk to me, they're like, oh, you know a lot about flying. Are you a pilot? And I'm like, no, I'm not a pilot. I just pretend like I'm one on TV. But I have really seen the benefits of definitely this analogy. And, you have the pilot, and then you have the co-pilot that assists, and sometimes you have autopilot. And we are getting into agents and things that, like, where we'll be monitoring, but we won't be as hands-on. So one thing I just want to encourage you, and I know this sounds like common sense, but we want common sense to become common practice, is infusing AI into your daily flow of work. There are free tools, there are enterprise tools to kind of supercharge and optimize your day. And so, I use, well, let me just say this. Before I had CoPilot, I used ChatGPT Plus, which I still have and I still use, for emails and case studies and, building curriculum. I know, like, I have a background in learning and development and technical training. And so I've been able to take articles and build out training programs, and literally in seconds, like stuff that pops up that's usable that would have taken hours or days or a team to use. Graphic design, teaching myself AI, writing LinkedIn posts, writing articles, managing meetings, having AI in Teams now, where it's the expectation that we record and transcribe conversations to use CoPilot. Nobody's taking notes anymore. You can really lean in and generate those notes. The other thing too that's really cool is, say you can't make a meeting because you're in another meeting. We're definitely a meeting-centric culture here at Microsoft. You can literally follow another meeting or go in and see what happened and use CoPilot. So really, it's just infusing it into what you're doing every day. The other thing I do is I celebrate the skills that I learn. I get pretty excited when I learn something new, or I'm, really wrestling with and trying to get, the right prompt or image. I'm learning how to use it for video, how to be more accurate, because normally AI gives you what you ask it. And so you have to learn how to ask better questions, do better prompts, understanding how especially in CoPilot, like how your graph works. And so I celebrate those wins. And, like I said, I send a lot of this stuff around, but also it's just encouraging others to do it. But, celebrate and be proud of yourself as you're learning these skills. And so I wanted to just show you a couple of scenarios here, because what we're really trying to do here is use AI. And of course, we call it CoPilot here at Microsoft, but whatever you're using it, think about the future of work and using it in the flow of work. Not just, oh, I've got this one thing to write, right? But you're like, oh, I'm starting my day, right? So yes, I have access to CoPilot in Teams and I can monitor that. But also, you can use it to, read articles and synthesize those in different ways that you can use it as in what you're doing, and using it for your emails, and using it to, catch up on meetings, and using it to write, different things that you need to do, as well as, like doing customer research. And so the idea here is AI is not just something you use maybe once or twice a day, but it's really integrating it into that flow. And so I'll just this is another view. So this is really like a hiring and onboarding flow. And I would say everybody can do this right now. Everybody should go out and work on your LinkedIn profile, which you can also use as your resume, write a post, but one of the things you can do is, creating a job description. Yes, we do it in Word, but if you don't have CoPilot, you can certainly do that in, when I say you don't have CoPilot, you don't have Enterprise CoPilot, you can use a free CoPilot chat or other tools. You can write job descriptions, you can evaluate resumes, you can, write interview questions, you can, there's a lot of things you can do. So again, instead of just thinking, I'm using it for this one thing, you need this mental model shift of really, what is the workflow? How can I use this across my business? And then here's another scenario. So you have here the, in marketing, and marketing has really seen an acceleration of using AI and, doing market research. And we have so many customers, you can read a 10K. I consume a lot of information of keeping up with trends. And candidly, when, Gartner and Deloitte and others, it's really great. They publish these beautiful 10 to 12 page documents. I really wish I had time to read them all. I just pull them into my AI tools. I have them summarized. I pick the chapter that I want. I interact with it. I'm like, how would I take action on it? So it's just a way to consume a lot of information, market trends, creating promotions, a pitch deck, an offer letter. You are only limited by your creativity. Now, I say I'm creative. I think I'm more creative now because of AI. Sometimes I want to do something, I don't even know what to do. And I'm like, hey, I want to do this. Give me ideas on what to do. And good old, ChatGPT and CoPilot on GPT Plus has, plenty of feedback there. All right, so we're going to dig in a little more into CoPilot, and this will be a bit more Microsoft-centric, but I will also say, Microsoft really has been the leader and the benchmark. So if you're looking at Microsoft or you're looking at doing something like this, then you can use this as, kind of a benchmark of best practice. So what is CoPilot? So really the concept behind CoPilot is AI enablement in your flow of work, your everyday AI companion. And so CoPilot is a capability. Now we do license it because basically we have put this AI companion capability in our products. But I do want to just, level set that CoPilot, the idea of that, and I know some others are now using the term, is just your AI companion. And like I said here, Microsoft has our own copilots in our products and solutions, and our customers, partners, and individuals can build their own copilots. Again, it's just AI enablement. It has been so exciting to see what our partners and our customers have done. In our group alone, we have had hundreds of customers build hundreds of their own custom copilots in addition to adopting AI, and it's so exciting to see a customer. We had our customer, this is public information, Teradata, and we partnered with them, and in 6 weeks, they AI enabled end users to be able to use their products with AI on Azure. It was very exciting. It happened fast. And again, so we have Microsoft licensed copilots, and then we have people building their own copilots. And again, it's a new way of working, enabling an AI-empowered workforce. So again, I just talked about this, so I won't go into this much further, but I do like the idea of commenting on, helping us with complex cognitive tasks, using your natural language. Sometimes people don't know what to prompt. Just ask the question. Don't overthink it. I'm definitely providing some prompts, but it's good to use a prompt and then be more specific or say, what else should I be asking? It will help you do that. You get to determine and guide, which is, right, like the pilot's in charge, but the co-pilot is assisting. And the more complex you're asked, the more complex of what you're trying to solve, the more value there is. So I quickly want to go over Microsoft Copilots and then also building your own. So as you can see here, and I'm not going to go into detail in all of this is on our website, but just to understand, the idea is we're infusing AI everywhere. And what's really cool is now that I have these muscles on how to use Copilot, because we use Power Platform and Dynamics and security, all over the place. So now you'll open up a report or open up something and there'll be a Copilot, symbol. But because I've used it so much, I don't have to do specific training on that Copilot. I know how to use it. I know how to prompt it. I know what data it has access to. So before, when I was doing more training, and that doesn't mean I'm not still doing some training for some of our new things, but once you get the muscle of prompting, once you get the muscle of using it, and you have that mental model shift, you can directly go into something new and get that benefit from there. So we have, Copilot across all of our stack and our products. And also, like I said, you can build your own. Now, one of the things that people have asked is, how does Copilot work? So I'm going to give you a high-level overview, and this is something you can go impress somebody and talk about what a graph is for your data on enabling AI and sound like an expert. So the way Copilot for 365 works is, I'm going to use myself as an example. So as a senior director and I'm a manager at a certain level, I have access to certain data within Microsoft for my level. We also have SharePoint sites. Microsoft is not lacking information and training and content as well. So we have generally available content to everybody in Microsoft. I also have the stuff that I've created myself on my own OneDrive and on my hard drive. So basically the Microsoft graph is all of the permissions and all of the connectors to all of the data that I have access to. So the cool thing about CoPilot is CoPilot sits, and I'll talk a little bit more about this in a moment, but CoPilot sits on top of Azure OpenAI, which has our language model, and we have the apps, and we have access to the web. And not just Microsoft, but anyone that is using their own data, their own knowledge, their own expertise is differentiating themselves in the market. You know, we have a lot of experts here. And so I like to call it supercharging. You can tell I like all these Formula One analogies, but supercharging our data, supercharging our people. I like to say that I'm the ultimate LLM because, you know, at the end of the day, yes, I prompt, but at the end of the day, everything flows through my knowledge of me putting information in and getting that out. I shared this once before, but this has evolved. And so I just quickly want to talk about our partnership with OpenAI. We do have many other models available through Azure, but this has been our primary relationship. And what's evolved is going from, you know, we started with GPT 3.5, and now we have GPT-4 and, you know, multimodal. So again, you can be an expert of these terms. Multimodal is simply being able to use multiple inputs, like say text and a picture and video into a prompt to be able to get some type of result. So that's really cool. You know, initially ChatGPT Plus had this capability, and now I have this access in CoPilot where I can actually upload multiple documents and things to be able to have a richer experience. One of the other things that I'm pretty excited about is what we're doing with transcription and translation, especially in the healthcare space, and doing it being multi-languages, also doing sentiment analysis. Imagine, you know, you work in a call center and, you know, somebody gets referred to you, you know, from someone else. You can know, is this person upset? Is this person happy? You can be prompted on how to flow through that. And so this is very powerful. And then also the idea of fine tuning. While most people can use the models as they are and use your own data, you can also fine tune and, you know, determine, you know, add additional parameters to your models that work within, you know, within your offering. Quickly going to comment on top use cases. So there are tons of use cases, and I always love hearing things that I haven't heard before. And I'm like, oh, that's a really cool application of it. But when we talk about enterprise chat GPT, that's just better knowledge mining of data within your organization. And candidly, yes, you can do a search, like I can go search in SharePoint or search for things, but then I just get a list of links, and then I have to go dig for it. So just like ChatGPT works, you know, having that capability within your own organization, within your own data, again, it's pretty exciting when you start pulling more curated information to yourself. Intelligent call centers and better analytics and service. I think there's, you know, this area as it's being revolutionized for sure. You know, we all want a better experience when we call a call center, and we can prompt, they can know our sentiment, they can, you know, make recommendations using AI real time, building your own co-pilots, content generation. Just what we need is more content, right? But I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but the idea to be able to do curated, targeted content generation, you know, versus just generalization is great. And then hyper-personalization as well, again, that really targeted piece. Now, I wanted to just show you an example within an industry, and there are a lot of examples. We have that on Microsoft.com and across LinkedIn and different areas where industries are being revolutionized, right? So I'm just using this as an example within financial services and banking. And again, think of this as not just an individual user doing an email, which is great that you can use it, you know, for your own personalized ability, but access, but also CoPilot supporting branch and contact center agents, fraud detection. We all need that. There's so much fraud out there. Empowering advisors and agents, based on your data. So they know more about you and knowing these products. Client engagement, natural language processing of analysis, accessibility and language, and claims processing. So I could apply this to healthcare, I could apply this to retail, but I think it's really important, no matter what industry you are in personally, go right now and start searching and figuring out how is AI disrupting your industry. I guarantee, and disruption is not necessarily a bad word. Sometimes things need disrupting, right? It needs transformation. I think accessibility and inclusion is awesome as well, because we need more accessible and inclusive experiences. And imagine, being able to use natural language for your unique needs and being understood as how you show up is really key. And also more inclusive. I'm very excited for more people being able to code and more people getting into technology and being able to build and do things that have never been done before, that they have never done before. And then also mobility, people with mobility disabilities. Now, I don't have a mobility disability, but I will tell you, I use the Chat GPT app in voice mode all the time. You can talk to it interactively, and there's times I have it on a button on my new iPhone, and I'll have a question and I'll use that. I also use Bing Chat. And so, using it via voice, and then also making content generation easier for all. All right, we're going to go a little bit deeper here. I'm not going to deep dive technically in all of this, but I just want to give you kind of the orientation and landscape of kind of the next level down. So we've talked about CoPilot, we've talked about business use cases, we've talked about industry. One thing that is key to know, if you look in the inner wheel, again, this is not just specific to Microsoft, but you're looking at infrastructure, right? So this is where a lot of our models run and the like. We have digital and app innovation, again, being able to code more quickly and to create more quickly, and then data and AI. And so we have Azure OpenAI services, Power BI, and other capabilities. But the data and AI piece and, knowing your data, so that's an important category, especially in an enterprise or as you're starting to learn about AI, is understanding how that data empowers. If we move on around the wheel, we have modern work. And again, that and business applications that you can build on top of. And then most importantly, security. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I think one of the key things to know is while we get to see the output and engage with this and use this capability, as you working in an enterprise or you're working in a small business or a consulting firm or you're a founder, is understanding that these services work together. Right. And again, I'm giving you Microsoft as an example. There are some others out there that they're not as comprehensive as this, but the idea is just to understand that these services are there and work together, from infrastructure and cognitive services, machine learning and OpenAI services. And I know this may all look, fairly complex, but, we've created it all integrated to work together so you can build and then take advantage of these services. So, and like it says below, AI innovation and customization is available everywhere in the enterprise. And again, just to go one level down, so this is just a different view of this, right? And again, this is just our perspective of it, and you can see Azure OpenAI services. But, all of these capabilities that are amazing related to cognitive search, to bot services, to being able to use your own data and stand up these chat and bot capabilities very quickly, looking at immersive readers and speech and language. And so it's important to know these capabilities, even if you're not programming them yourself. This gives you an idea of what can be done, right? Because yes, the chat capability and ChatGPT or CoPilot, or another tool is awesome, but it's really what you can do to, enable the enterprise and B2B and B2C. And so it's just, the possibilities are endless. So just to zip through the rest of this so I can let the other speakers speak here, I did quickly want to speak about kind of the overview of what an app looks like. Again, you don't have to be technical to understand this, but it is important to understand that the beauty of this, the way this is working now and this capability is having the AI infrastructure, which I've just talked about, using your own data, using these foundation models, right? And so there's OpenAI. We have lots of different models you can use based on what you need. You have built-in security and privacy and testing. And then you can build your own copilots. You can use Microsoft copilots. You can build your own plugins. You can use your existing services. So the beauty of this is supercharging you and your organization. And this is a framework and an empowerment for you to customize and build your own solutions. And again, I just wanted to quickly comment here. We have an offering called Microsoft Fabric. And what I love about this is it's very inclusive. And I won't go into a lot of detail here, but the key thing here is you can be multi-cloud. We know a lot of our customers are multi-cloud and are on other clouds. They're on-prem. They have, their data in a lot of different places. So the beauty of Fabric and built on top of our OpenAI services is it doesn't matter where your data is. We're not moving the data. I love the terminology. It's a meta data lake, but we have the ability to supercharge your data no matter where it is, no matter what cloud platform it is on, which I think is pretty awesome. And again, we have thousands of models in Azure OpenAI. And so even though we have our partnership with OpenAI, Microsoft has been in the model business for a while, when we also have partnerships with NVIDIA and Meta and Hugging Face and others. And so that's, it's pretty cool to see how expansive this is. All right. This is super important, and I know there's a lot of misinformation out there around security. There are valid concerns and there is a lot of misinformation, but just to have clarity here from our perspective, and again, this should be a baseline because I know not everyone uses Microsoft, but we have set the standard here is you want to make sure your data is your data. Your data is not used to train the OpenAI foundation models or any other models. And then your data is protected by the most comprehensive enterprise and compliance tools. So your data will never be going back into OpenAI. Now, you can use your data on top of the models to tune and train data, and that sits within your secure infrastructure, but that is yours and secure to you. All right, and from an AI safety perspective, Microsoft does have, this is where we are really differentiated in our principles of fairness, privacy, and security. We have a very high corporate standard. All this is documented. Tools, testing, training, we take it very seriously. And I'm very proud of what we're doing in AI safety. I know a lot of other companies are really focused on this. And so just remember the standard and making sure that this is integrated. I know a lot of people are trying to do things on their own, a lot of companies, and that's great that you want to innovate. But as consumers and as users and as business people, we need to make sure that the highest level of safety and standards are there. And again, this is just another, view of this, talking about privacy, security, reliability, fairness, transparency, accountability, and being inclusive. And, we really lead on this area. All right. As I close out here, I really want to talk about the rapid rise of advancements in AI and the skills needed. Now, we talk about technical skills, but there's also business skills, user skills, using it in the flow of work. And I will say, a lot of times it's like, oh, there's free AI training. And it's like how to hands-on technically build something. A lot of us may never do that, right? And so there is a lot of training. The best thing you can do is train yourself. I taught one of my daughters in college. I paid for her to have ChatGPT Plus not to write her papers, but to take her digital textbooks and upload them and showing her how to teach herself. So she can learn about concepts, she can interact, she can test herself on that content, and you can do that yourself. You can train yourself, you can teach yourself, you can do simulated learning, you can do all types of things. But the key is to really focus on these skills because they are in demand right now. And so get the skills you need to power your AI transformation and also power yourself. You want to thrive. I mean, there's no excuse not to go out and be using these tools, especially in your flow of work, but also start asking others in your organization. Expect them to be using these tools, right? So if you're in business and you want to grow in your business or, in whatever avenue you're using this, it is fair to have the expectation, if your industry is being disrupted and transformed by AI, which I can guarantee most of them are, then you need to skill up and help others around you do that. And that will accelerate implementation and also just for yourself for more meaningful work. And so I really like this construct here is the AI learning journey, understanding it, preparing for it, using it, and then ultimately building solutions. And then finally, I'm just going to finalize here with what's next. So what's coming? And again, you can do your own research, but customized chatbots that are more customized to your experience and kind of know your data and very targeted. And also, we're looking at, that should say hyper-personalization, AI hyper-personalization, text to video. So Carvana, what they've been doing is based on your user profile, they have been generating custom videos with your name targeted to you. I think they built over 1 million customized videos, but I'm pretty excited about this customized text to video capability. AI in science, especially like I said, in agriculture and life sciences. Multimodal AI is growing, being able to have more video inputs and the growth of that area. AI agents, I'm super excited about this. How many times have we searched for, an itinerary and then we're like, oh, I wish this could book the reservation. I would love it to book my calendar for me. And so, a lot is coming. Again, don't be overwhelmed by it. Just pick something. Pick something in your industry. Pick something you're interested in. Like I said, I'm interested in Formula One. I'm really following what's happening, how they're using AI, related to growing that industry. There is more disinformation and fakes. And I always say common sense still required. And then also more regulation and guidance coming. We do have an election coming up, so we're really going to have to pay attention and probably educate others around, if it doesn't feel right or, just validate. It doesn't matter what the information is. And then I'm not going to go through these, but I have provided 3 pages of prompts for you to be able to use. Some of them you can use with CoPilot, some of them you can use on your own, but I think that's a wrap. So I will turn it back over, and I hope everyone found this really useful today.